I told you that troop deployment is directly dependent on the trust factor. And tangentially, I had told you about the capabilities which have been created. And troop deployment or the infrastructure development is dependent on the capability on the other side, not on the presence of troops on the other side. So as of today, the capability entails that we should continue to maintain this kind of a troops. We have two kinds of deployment called as summer deployment and winter deployment. Definitely during this winter deployment, the number of troops come down. So therefore, at least in the winter strategy, we are not looking forward to any reduction of troops. When it comes to the summer strategy, we'll take a review based on that time, how many negotiations, conferences, and meetings have taken place. Based on the indications and assurances, we may like to review at that point of time. The third issue which has been brought up by me, as far as the J&K is concerned, that the violence level is not reducing. Here I would like to just say that the violence level is being orchestrated by the epicenter of terrorism, that is Pakistan. If it is so, is the world helping us in kind of a controlling this epicenter in any way? If the support is not forthcoming the way India is looking at, this kind of a terrorist infiltration will continue to be there. However, as of now, we have inducted 15,000 additional troops in year 2024. And that is why you will find that the violence level has gone down, where we have been able to neutralize 73 terrorists, out of which 60%, like I told you, were Pakistan terrorists. The elections, if you see, the elections, the parliamentary elections, state assembly elections, both had nearly 60% plus minus voting. It means that as far as the local population is concerned, local population is going with the peace. The recruitment was only 4 for year 2024. That is negligible. So all the indicators which are there saying that the people of J&K are shunning violence. And this violence is completely being orchestrated by our Western adversary. We can move on to the next one.
You said they are doing a remarkable job. Have you taken note of the concerns which were flagged by the then Corps Commander of 17 Corps? Are there any steps being taken to kind of fix those gaps, or is there a sense that perhaps it was a wrong call to give them command role without without carrying out all the steps that were necessary? And the second question is also related to HR only, sir. This is related to Agnipath. You were recently in Nepal and you had chats, you had talks with the Nepalese army chief and other people over there, senior people. So, was there any talk on resumption of Gurkha recruitment or some consensus or breakthrough on those lines?
Thank you, Rahul. Next, please.
Rahul, what you have asked for the women officers. Firstly, Jan Puri, the letter which got leaked out shouldn't have got leaked out. A court inquiry has been ordered about it. It's a perception. It's his perception. He has all right to give that perception and comment. It's an internal communication. Now, what we have to see that when we made them commanding officers, what were the situations? This was based on the Supreme Court order and where the complete process was accelerated. As you are aware, when we make a commanding officer, we give them various exposures at various fields, we make them do various courses. Like for them, JC was not done, a short course was done. The contact and the bonding with troops was less. A lot of exceptions were given. So when you have these kind of a situation, you may have some kind of a surprises. But overall, if you see, today we have approximately 115 commanding officers who are commanding. And 18 more are ready in the, already approved and they are ready. And maximum commanding officers of such you will always find in the Northern Command. So I have the first-hand experience to say so, that you will always find all kinds of officers. wherever I have seen, the women officers have been very mature, very considerate, very kind, and if I can say that, up and above. And here I would like to quote one women officer whom probably this time we'll be able to give some kind of award also. Colonel Onum Doming. She is from East Siang, from Pasighat. And when I was in Northern Command, along Demchok, one of the most difficult road which is being made, she was always present there. I went to Umlingla, which is the highest motorable pass. She was always there. When I went to an underground cavern, and she was also there. So what I am saying, you will find all kinds of examples. So one particular example cannot be taken as a kind of a yardstick. Today, I just wish to assure you that women officers are doing exceedingly well. And if I have to give you some yardstick, today there are approximately 16 officers who are doing staff college. The women officers who are pilots in the aviation branch also, RTO already aware, we have already started. In the TA battalion, CSC battalion, AOC battalion, I have first-hand experience to say so, they are doing exceedingly well. Now, what is important is, over a period of time, we have to look into, as far as Indian Army is concerned, we want a strong women officer. So, what it means, Kali Mata Karu? Maybe. But it means it has to be gender neutral approach in the conduct and even the infrastructure which is being provided in the field areas. This is like Sikkim and Mizoram already looking into it. The physical test parameters should be nearly be the same, but keeping in view the physical conditions, there may be some kind of exceptions which will be made. Women officers also, approximately 1700 are presently training in the Sainik School, military school and RMC. So it means that they will be coming to Indian Army and the tri-services. So therefore, it is something which is to happen, and it will happen in the most mature, in a welcoming way. That partially should answer your question, Rahul. Yes. Coming on to Agnipath, as far as Agnipath is concerned, as you are aware that this is not the subject to Army Chiefs will discuss, and it's a political decision. And as far as India is concerned, India has already given its proposals to the Nepal side, and as and when we hear from the Nepal side, we'll be working towards that. Is it causing any deficiency in the army? No. As of today, wherever such deficiencies are there, it is being filled in by other recruitable military population. Coming on to Rajiv, आपने पूछा है वतन और वेतन क्यों? सबसे बड़ी चीज ये है कि हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि भारतीय सेना किन मुद्दों पे बनी है, किन सिद्धांतों पे बनी है। क्या वो सिद्धांत पैसे के हैं या नाम नमक निशान के हैं? तो मेरा ये कहना है कि आप नाम नमक निशान के लिए आइए, अपनी पहचान के लिए आइए, एडवेंचर एक्टिविटी के लिए आइए। मैं हमेशा ये बोलता हूँ कि कारगिल में अगर एक जवान लड़ाई में आगे गया था तो क्यों गया था? क्या वो पैसे के लिए लड़ने गया था? वो अपने साथियों के लिए लड़ने गया था, अपनी बटालियन के लिए लड़ने गया था, अपनी मिट्टी के लिए लड़ने गया था। तो मेरा सिर्फ यही कहना है कि आप आते हैं तो सिर्फ पैसे के लिए मत आइए, आप हमेशा इन मुद्दों को भी साथ में लाइए और ये आपके अहम मुद्दे होने चाहिए। अगर आप इन मुद्दों के साथ आएंगे तो आप सबके साथ में शरीक होंगे, सुख दुख में शरीक होंगे और आपकी टीम के पार्ट बनेंगे। अगर आप वेतन के लिए आएंगे तो आप अपने आप टीम के पार्ट नहीं बनेंगे और हमें आपको अपने सिस्टम से अलग करना पड़ेगा। तीसरी बात मैडम मैथ्यू ने पूछी है जोरावर लाइट टैंक के बारे में। तो as far as Zorawar light tank is concerned, you are aware that we are looking at approximately 354 tanks to begin with, and in Jan 2023 we had given the AON for that. An expression of interest was given in April 23, and it was amounted to approximately more than 70,000 crores, 17,000 crores. So as of now, we are looking at 295 as part of Make 1 and 59 as part of the DRDO initiative. As you are aware that few veterans have joined hands together, and we have seen glimpses of this light tank, so-called Zorawar, making rounds. It has already been to the high altitude, carried out some trials, and I spoke to the DG of DRDO who is dealing with this subject. As of today, when we speak, it is making its journey back to Chennai. And after the kind of a improvement which have been suggested during these trials, we will see the new version, and thereafter we'll carry out more trials on the subject. And once this finishes, I'm sure for the balance also, the orders will follow. It doesn't mean that we have given up our responsibility. So we have sat down with them, worked out with them. And if I can say that today AVNL has enhanced its overall capacity from 120 to 150, and they have assured me that this capacity will be increased to 200 tanks per year. Similarly, we also have the army-based workshops. They are also carrying out a phenomenal work, and 2 base workshops have been nominated to carry out this overall. And you'll be happy to know that in Delhi, we had recently launched the overall of even T90 is being carried out. So I can just assure you the situation is under control. Of course, when the change takes place, initially, first step is the most difficult. That step we have overcome. So now the pace of or the transformation which will be much faster.
Yeah. What I had noted is last time when you had raised, so 17, 107 and 97.
You are aware that we are going to kind of place them on a permanent basis and enhance the role of territorial army in that area. The equipping profile is also being worked out accordingly. Therefore, in conjunction with Navy, we are looking at their employment in a big way. Coming on to the amphibious task force which is there as of now, we are exploring that how to make it permanent in terms of amphibious task force which should remain dedicated, whether on the lines of RR or in the lines of permanent regimentation, so that their specialization, I would like to put it in a different perspective, that is our strongest point, because all the forces which are there in West Bengal, all the forces which are there in Sikkim, all the forces which are there in Northeast, from all the 3 sides our forces can congregate there. So that is the strongest point, that's not the weakest point. Let me assure you that. As far as the activities of China is concerned, we are keeping a close watch, and whichever quarter are required to be kind of sensitized with that, that is being done. And what we talked about, are our forces ready for any kind of action or reaction? Our forces have always been ready, and there is no let up on that. Thank you. I know you wish to. Yeah, please give a chance.
Yes.
Out of turn.
Right.
I will not. I'll skip that question because too many things. But coming on to your women intake is concerned, I would like to just say that NDA as of today we have 60 cadets, army cadets, and every year we are looking at about 20 cadets. Also in the OTA, that is Chennai and Gaya, we are looking at 120 per year. Serving soldiers I have already told you. Women officers I have told you it's coming to 2037. It will be increase of approximately 1,000. But what is important is women as other rank. Now it involves change of Army Act Section 12. So we are going in for the change, and by 2032 we are looking at approximately 12 times increase. We are wanting to make it 1200, then slowly and slowly to 1700 per year. So gradually the number will increase. Like I told you that the acceptance, we creating that kind of an environment is equally important at this point of time. We have a wish for the men. So therefore, when we talk about gender neutrality, slowly and slowly we have to prepare the society and the military for that. Once we get that, you will find the number will continue to increase. We call something called as guardian force. What it means that you may not be in the direct, and others also, RBC, etc. Approximately 8,000 women officers we have today. And we include the TA also, which we have recently opened up. About 110 vacancies we are now going to give per year as per the women intake is concerned. Recently, that India is strategically important to us, and same is vice versa. Bangladesh is strategically important to us. As of today, which is the other country which shares border with Bangladesh? It's a small portion, if you see, is on one side, on the southeastern side, otherwise it's all India. Therefore, we are the neighbors, we live together, understand each other, and any kind of animosity is not in each other's interest. As of today, firstly, there is no vulnerability from any side. I am in touch with the chief of Bangladesh during the time of when this changeover took place. I was in constant touch with him, and even thereafter, in November 24, we had a video conference also. As far as the military cooperation is concerned, is again going up in the same way. Our officers have moved there for the NDC also. There is no let up on that side. The only thing is, as far as the joint exercise which is carried out, because of the situation as of now, that we have postponed for some time, and as and when the situation improves, the exercise will also go on. That all the corps commanders have been empowered to go through the patrolling and grazing issues, and wherever you can harmonize the relation between the two sides, you should be able to do. As you are aware, when the SR talk took place, there was some press release given. So we are also looking at end of a Kailash Mansarovar Yatra to begin. We are also looking at some trade points to be resumed. So similarly, we are looking at that if we can have some kind of understanding, please go ahead. So that kind of a delegation has been given to the DIP commanders and corps commanders. They will come back to us. As far as we are concerned, it is, from my side, it is approved. I can only say that. Coming on to the painting. As far as this painting is concerned, let me tell you that there are two chief lounge. There is one chief lounge here and one chief lounge in the South Block. As you are aware, South Block probably by year end we should be vacating it. We are not sure because Thal Sena Bhavan is under construction, and if it comes up in time, then we will be moving out from here. 16th December was chosen as the date to place that painting, the surrender painting, in Manekshaw Center, because that is an auspicious date where we should have placed it. As far as the other chief lounge is concerned, it's a mural, it cannot be removed from there. So I have to take the decision from where to take it out. It was taken. Coming on to the painting which is there as of now, which is on ground. This has been conceptualized and made by Lieutenant Colonel Thomas of 28 Madras, which is the younger generation. If you see the golden history of India, golden history of India has 3 chapters. It has British era, Mughal era, and era before that. So if you wish to connect that and the vision which I have given you in the beginning, symbolism becomes important. If I am talking about rebalancing 1.5, you understand rebalancing 1.5 is against which potential adversary. So once you look at that, my communication with my generation which is there, with the younger generation, my Vayo, my Jawan, it becomes equally important. So therefore, there is a surrender portrait which is in the chief lounge, which is there here in Manekshaw Center, and there is a new portrait which is there. It's also been told that these are mythological. If you open the chapter 4 of the original constitution book, the painting which is there is of Krishna and Arjuna on the same chariot. So is the constitution also mythological? That question you need to ask yourself. Is also being said that there is a Brahmin semi-clad which is standing in center. If the Indian does not know what is Chanakya, we need to refer back to our civilizational approach what we have. And the modern technology is visible there. Therefore, if I have to connect past, present and future, this symbolizes that. And if I have to give the credit, I must give credit to that artist who is a youngster, who is the generation next, and he is the one who is going to lead India tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Generally answers, Dimkar?
The rest I'll speak later.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen,
वो हमारी 300 जो है तकरीबन हमने उसकी 30 ही कंप्लीट कर ली है और इक्विपमेंट अंडर ट्रायल में जा रहे हैं. क्योंकि इक्विपमेंट अंडर ट्रायल आपको पता है कि वो हमारा विंटर ट्रायल्स हमेशा विंटर्स में होता है, उसमें वक्त लगेगा. तो प्रोबेबली हम देख रहे हैं 2026 में हमें उसके बारे में नतीजा सामने आ जाएगा. जहाँ तक टोट गन सिस्टम का सवाल है, हम उसमें RFP हमने इशू कर दी है और ये सिस्टम अभी हमारे पास मतलब कार्रवाई इसमें शुरू हो. लेकिन उसके अलावा हमारे पास क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं. सबसे पहले ए टैक्स का जो है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हमारा अगर सब सही रहा तो तकरीबन 307 गन का हम जो तकरीबन 8,000 करोड़ का है, अभी इस साल फाइनेंशियल ईयर खत्म होने के पहले साइन कर पाएंगे। उसी प्रकार से K9 वज्रा, जैसे आपको पता है रिपीट ऑर्डर के लिए हमें सैंक्शन मिल गई है, तो हम उसमें रिपीट ऑर्डर में जाएंगे। और अगर इन चीज़ों में हमारा इंडिजिनाइज कंटेंट बढ़ता रहा तो जो भी हमारी विश लिस्ट है उस पर्टिकुलर इक्विपमेंट की, हम उसको रिव्यू करेंगे। अगर उसमें इंडिजिनाइज कंटेंट ज़्यादा है तो हम मिड कोर्स रिव्यू करके हम उस इक्विपमेंट को ज़्यादा लेना चाहेंगे, वनस्पति उस इक्विपमेंट के जिसमें कि इंडिजिनाइज कंटेंट कम। तो इसमें सोच विचार रहेगा। जहां तक हम पिनाका की बात करें, पिनाका इसमें भी वही सोच विचार आ रहा है कि अगर इसका एमनिशन हमें बढ़ी हुई रेंजेस दे सकता है तो क्या जो हम ऑल्टरनेट देख रहे थे उस ऑल्टरनेट की ज़रूरत है। जो हम अभी हाई एक्सप्लोजिव प्री फ्रेगमेंटेड जो हमने एमनिशन जिसका हम अभी साइन करने जा रहे हैं तकरीबन 6,000 करोड़ का, और एरिया डिनाइल म्यूनिशन जो हम साइन करने जा रहे हैं करीब 4,500 करोड़ का। तो जैसे ही हमारे ये एमनिशन में बढ़ोतरी होगी और हमें रेंज अच्छी मिलेगी, हो सकता है जो हमारे बाकी लॉन्ग रेंज वेपन्स हैं हम उनको ड्रॉप करके इसमें कंसंट्रेशन करें। तो एग्जिट कितने हम रेज करना चाहेंगे शायद मैं अभी उसको ना कहूँ और उसको भविष्य के लिए छोड़ दूँ। Our emotional connect between Afghanistan and India is always high and it will remain so. But as far as the military presence as of now is concerned, we are not looking at any military presence in the near time frame or in the immediate time frame. Coming on to the last question of the Sanjay Mishra ji, that is Narayanpur. We are looking at this range may not be in the immediate future because the way our troops are deployed, is this required? We have to see firstly that. Secondly, do we have the troops in this area? As you are aware that in view of the rebalancing 1.0 what has been carried out, our troops are looking at super high altitude area. So we are wanting our ranges in the super high altitude or in the mountainous region where we can practice. And therefore we are making a great attempt to acquire these ranges in such areas where we can carry out the fire. As the requirement develops, we will certainly go in for acquiring this range and moving troops there also to carry out the training. It was nice interacting with all of you, and I am sure that media will keep supporting our endeavor to make sure that the thought process of Indian Army reaches to a common man and also to a soldier, because you are the one who make it reach faster vis-a-vis. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your cooperation. I am alive to this issue that many of you have not been able to ask this question, but then the time is limited. May I request be seated? Once the Chief of Army Staff has left the hall, you can then move